guys, good morning. We're going to be doing a fun landscape, and I even have a photo reference for you. Let's get started. Well, oh my goodness, I think I just got started without my opening. That's the way it goes sometimes. I'm excited to get going on this. We've got a lot of stuff today to do, to play with, to explore, and escape. We are escaping to the hills. Sometimes we have to come up with a way to get out of our own heads, and this type of doodling, these landscapes, can take you to places that don't exist, but that we'd like to exist or could exist. Maybe. Good morning and welcome. I'm Stephanie, and this is Deliberately Creative. And I'm so happy you guys are here. Welcome, welcome. We have 2 drawings that are going to happen today. We will be drawing here at the beginning, probably about 10 minutes in, for the roses postcard. This drawing to enter is closed, and we are going to draw that one live. And then from the card that we do today, we're doing a live drawing. And I have a link here. The hills are alive. Absolutely. I have a link here for the Google form. And I'm going to post the link. Come on, post the link. There it is. And that link is only going to be good today during the show. Now, if you have to leave after you've put in your entry, fine. You don't have to be in the room to win, but you do have to enter to win, and you have to have the secret word to win. And I'm not giving that to you quite yet. I think the secret word will be given at the same time that we do the drawing, so that way people might stick around for a couple minutes. So thank you guys so much for being here. I am so excited. All right, I did a fun little doodle here. And I did this without looking at anything. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that. And zoom in. Focus. There we go. So now, I did this little doodle. And it was a lot of fun. And I just did it out of my own head. And then, today, I was looking for a reference to share with you guys. Look at this. You've got the hill in the background, the hill in the foreground. You've got a band of trees. You've got a area in the foreground. What do we have? We have a hill in the background, a hill in the foreground. Well, background, foreground, an area of trees, and an area in the very foreground. How'd that happen? Yeah, well, hey, you got to get the views in somehow, and I'm trying. I'm working on it, guys. We're working on it. So this landscape is going to be super, super easy. And what I want to do, I'm the photographer. I took this picture, but it is available on Unsplash, and I have the link down below in the more information box. All of the materials I'm using today, I've got a piece of watercolor paper just because this is what I've been using to draw and doodle on for my shows. And it makes a nice thing for you if you win. This is 5.5 by 7, 140-pound watercolor paper by Arteza. And that link is down below also. It's great for drawing on. It has a slightly textured side and a smooth side. So that's the fun of that. Yes, this really, you might think that I was twirling around on the pathway here singing "The Hills Are Alive." It's something that could have happened. It probably did. And Mark is the only one who could tell you if it did or not. So, all right, we are going to get started. Oh, and if you did the 30 doodles with me, I don't have that page right here in front of me, but I do have my book that I did my practicing in. So I practice filling in shapes a lot with doodles. And see here, this was another doodle that we could possibly do. doodly doo. And then I have another page here with a whole bunch of fill patterns. If you did the fill pattern page with me, that was a couple weeks ago, and it was 30 doodles. It was a live show, and I do have every single one of the doodles that's on that live show time-stamped, so you can figure out which ones you want to use. But I'm going to hold this page open for me. Mark's not home right now. He's at work. Which is probably better for me that he's at work right now. So, first up, I want to show you how to break down a landscape. This landscape is nice and easy. It's a very basic landscape. And I'm going to grab a, let's see, will that show up? That will show up. You like the scrolly doodle tree? We can do that as a lesson. Can we do the raccoon? You know what? That might be a possibility. What we'll do is, I think maybe I'll do a just a live chat one of these days where we just talk about stuff in my doodle book. We'll do a kind of a flip through and maybe plot out some of the new lessons that we'll do. But right now we're doing this. We are taking the photograph. We're going to just take a colored pencil that you can see on top of here. And I'm going to say this would be a section down here. And I might want that path. Doesn't have to be a perfect line. Look at that. And then I know that I'm pretty sure I want to put a row of trees in here somehow. So how do I do the trees? I'm going to block it in, and I'm going to just say the trees are kind of this wobbly path right here. Then I've got a hill that's in right behind that. And then I have the little mountain range. This is Mount Rainier. And I'm up on the side of the mountain at one of the parks. This is up at sunrise, I believe. I think this was up at sunrise. It's up on the north, almost north side of the mountain. And so this is Mount Rainier in Washington State. It's a national park, and it's a beautiful place to go. So now I know I've got my sky section. I have this hill section here with the mountain. I have this hill that's a little bit closer to me. I have the band of trees, and I have the hill I'm actually standing on, and the path. So good morning, yay, and or good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you for being here. So I've gone ahead and grabbed a piece of paper, and this piece of paper, I'm going to grab a new one because I bent this. We don't want a bent paper being sent out, do we? Or did I bend it too? Oh, I didn't bend it too bad. It's just got a light. Oh, no, it's got a big enough crease in it. I don't want that. I don't want that crease. Let's see here. I think we're going to do some television magic here. I'm grabbing a new piece of paper, and instead of cutting it right now, whoops, get that out of the way. Instead of cutting it right now, I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to drop this down in the middle. Well, actually, yeah, drop it down the middle. And I'm going to just take my tape. See, this is sort of where the magic is kind of going to happen. I'm going to take a piece of tape, and I'm going to put it, actually, just set this one down. Then I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to take the piece of tape and set it down. Sorry about this, guys. You know, since I'm giving this one away, I don't want it to be wrinkled. I don't think you guys want it to be wrinkled either. Oops, sorry. So we'll just get this line back up. It's live. Yep, it's live. That's what happens sometimes when things are live. And I have enough pieces of paper I can make bookmarks or something out of the side edges here. I'm not shipping off this big huge sheet. It's only going to be a 5x7 because I want it to fit in my 6x9 envelope. And there we go. All right, we have a big piece of paper now. So I need to shift things around so that I can see where I am. But just to give you another quick look, this is kind of where we're heading. Not necessarily those doodles, though. All right. Get my other book out from under there. Let's see, where am I going to put that? Move the keyboard. Set it in front of me. I like having pages with lots and lots of doodles. No, I don't want to send a big old piece of paper. No. No. I like having a big page with doodles and fill patterns and things like that. Get that out of the way. Because it just gives you those ideas to use when you are lacking the idea. So I'm going to set this over there, I guess. And we will zoom out just a bit. Come on, zoom out. I moved my cameras around, so we've got a better zoomy, zoom camera. Let's see. There we go. Now I'm getting there. Good morning, everybody. Okay, morning time is always fun. Now, did you notice that this doesn't have a flat horizon line? It doesn't have a straight line going through here? Yeah. That's one of the things that I really like to look for when I'm doing my doodles. I really like to see... Whoa! Okay, that one went up a little higher, didn't it? No big deal. So now, this is my foreground. Then I've got my tree line area. And I'm going to make that one disappear off the edge. And now we have the next level of mountain area. I'm going to pull that one. Boom. And then I've got my big mountain area. And that one. See, what I did is I just pushed this up. We lost a little bit of sky. No big deal. And you can round off your shapes. You can make them even more defined. And if it's not exactly the shape you want, remember this is a doodle. And you can go back and add more things to it. Then I've got my path. That's kind of going here. What the path does is it gives you a way into the picture. Sometimes having a road or a path just gives you that entry into your escape. This is the escape route. We're heading down that path. There's a hill, there's trees, there's ways to go. And by giving yourself that escape route, that entry into it, it just makes it feel more alive, feel more real, whatever, you know. So we've got that lined in. We don't really need the reference anymore, but that was for giving us a layout. You could do it totally from your imagination, though. You're not limited to just what a picture gives you. This type of doodling gives you all kinds of opportunities. Let's see here. We're going to zoom in. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to zoom in nice and big. Fill in that screen. Put my paper so it doesn't go shifting all over the place. I'm using a big old kneaded eraser to kind of keep my book of patterns from sliding down the hill. And now I know that I want something going on in this path. I want something going on in each of these sections. Which way do I want to start? I think I want to start in the middle. I want to do kind of my tree. And the neat thing here is, if you look at this, these trees are, see, I lied. I went back to my reference. These trees are giving me a pattern. It's kind of a zigzag, isn't it? We're not making them real. But do you see how they get smaller and they fill that space? You have positive space and negative space inside of that one area. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to kind of look at this and go, it comes down and then goes up and then goes woo down and then goes all the way up and touches, comes back down, goes up, comes down a little bit, goes over, and then way down, wiggle, wiggle, maybe comes back up. So now I've broken it into more sections that I can fill with patterns. Now, this is great with micron pens, but I'm using a inexpensive Eco pens. They come in a tube like this. They are, this was a tube of 20 of them. Yeah, I go through them because I doodle a lot. Boom, I'm glad that I've already shown that to you now because it's out of my hand reach. So now, oh, and this is waterproof ink. That's one of the things that I really like about it. I'm not putting any color on this picture though. The trees are always getting in the way. Yeah, but these trees are so easy. We've made a shape. I'm going to start doodling these trees in. I think I'm actually going to say there were trunks. Look at that. This is doodling. This is a symbolic art drawing. You're drawing with symbols, not the kind that go bang bang and ring ring tap, that you tap on. These are symbols as in the kind of symbol that represents something, but doesn't have to be exactly that. How's that for a random answer to what a symbol is, eh? Something that represents, but it doesn't have to be the exact thing. There we go. But this also ooh, you know what that looks like? That looks like poles that are holding up fabric. Things change, guys. Things change. These look like poles that are holding up fabric, like somebody is propping up underneath of the landscape. I like how things change, how ideas grow. And that's part of doodling. That's part of, sorry, my arm got in the way. I'm trying to keep my book from sliding in. But see how we went from that to this now? Oh, that's, wow. So remember, I'm going to be doing the drawing in probably about 2 or 3 minutes for the rose and giving you the secret word for today's drawing, which is going to be this doodle. So stick around. We're going to be doing that in just a minute. I am looking at this going, yeah, I like that idea. And I think I'm going to say that this is really, these are like little walls or rooms in the mountain. So I think we're going to go and put a little line going back in. And you see how that makes it look like little rooms going back into the mountain? or going up. Ooh, this is fun. I like coming up with new ideas that I didn't think about before. And that's what doodling is. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, this is looking really cool. So I think now I'm just going to do the follow the line in sections. Maybe this is the layer of snow being propped up, lifted up off the mountain for the springtime, the summer to show up. These are funny little escape rooms. Funny little escape rooms. That's what these are. You know, many of us are feeling a little bit trapped where we are, and having these little doodle lands to escape into. See, that one's a big section, isn't it? I'm going to say that stops there. And a lot of this is just very intuitive. I did not intend for that to happen. This is why you doodle, though. It lets your brain kind of relax and see things that you didn't anticipate. Take you to another place. They've actually done brain scans on people after they've done their doodling, and it shows that it's like, you stay awake, but it's like you've had a restful nap. Your brain relaxes. And for me doing this, I'm talking the entire time too, which you don't have to do. You can be totally silent. But yeah, look at that. Sometimes I lose my words when I'm doing things like this also. This could be a big cloth. Going up the hill, going up the mountain. Yeah, it's really interesting when you do things like this. You start to see shape and form in things that don't really have it. This is a flat piece of paper. We're just drawing some lines. That's totally random. That's going to be totally random in the middle of our mountain path. But look at that. Now, if I do these little lines, and they can spread out as I move forward, so it's lighter in the front and it's darker in the back. When you put your lines closer together, it feels darker. You're not actually making the ink any blacker. You're just putting your lines closer together so your brain reads it as being a lighter shade or tone, lighter tone. There we go. So of course I'm doing this in the middle of my page, and then my hand is going to be going across things. Luckily, these pens dry really, really fast. That's a really big lucky thing for me. Let's see. That one's a little bit more flat. See, and you can change the orientation of your lines. They don't have to stay the same directions. Wow, this one goes uphill inside. Ooh, you know what that one is? That one could be where this path. Let's see. The path could go over the hill and end up down inside there. Or up inside there. Maybe that one's the actual tunnel that takes you up into the mountains. Yeah. I'm going to finish the floor on this one, these right here, and then we're going to have the drawing for the rose postcard, and you're going to get the secret word. I'm just going to make that dark. If you want it to be really dark, just put your lines a lot closer together. There we go. And you guys saw that grow right in front of your eyes. There we go. I'm going to make the back of that tunnel a little darker by just adding a few more lines. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, have our drawing for the rose. So let's go ahead and bring me back. So there we go. So the drawing for the rose. This, amazingly, only got 21 entries. I'm really surprised by that. But those 21 entries, only 21 entries. So I'm going to go to random.org. Oops. Make that a little bigger so you can see it. So random.org, and we are going to say 1 to 21. And generate. And number 19. My goodness, number 19. So now I'm going to go back, and number 19 is Sue Moore. Sue Moore, number 19. All right, Sue Moore is the winner of the book. Whoops. Let's not go on that one. You guys get to see the behind the scenes for a second. Boom. That's me doing silly things. So Sue Moore is the winner of the book. How did you enter? You entered last week by answering the question if you wanted to have a lesson a day where we do just folded books. And I have a whole pile of them and different styles. And the predominant answers was yes. You guys wanted to have a lesson on doing folded paper books. So we're going to do that. But for right now, we are going to go back here. I am going to put in the link for today's drawing, which is going to be for this right here. This doodle card. It's going to be cut to 5x7. It will be signed, it will be protected, and it will be mailed off to the winner at the end of today's show. The word is escape. So where it asks what is the word or question, put in escape. Make sure you put your email address, because otherwise I don't know who is entering. I just realized something. I need to put A place. I need your name too. Name. There. Woo. Nobody's answered the question yet. Name. Yes. Now it's saved. So guys, go ahead and this is the link. Make sure that you click the link. No, Sue gets the rose picture. She doesn't get the book. The book was just a quick little saying we're going to do a whole lesson of books. And somebody might win a book when we do that lesson. How's that? So make sure, click the link, fill in the form, and I'm going to check here in just a second and see if we get any responses. But Sue Moore was the winner of this. So I need to put of this rose card. And I will be emailing Sue. So, yay. That's what we do. And that's how we roll. Let's see. Yay! Responses are coming in. So make sure you put in your entry right now or today during the show if you want to be in the drawing. All right. So let's see. We're going to go ahead and start filling in more shapes. And I am going to take me off the screen again. So there we go. And we're going to the close-up. All right. So that's really good. Now we're heading. I think I want this to be like a field of flowers in front. So I'm going to break this maybe into like a little quilt or a grid. Like that. And maybe even break this one into a bit of a grid. But this one, look at that, I'm making it kind of a rainbow, aren't I? I'm going to say, yep, that would have just fallen right off there. Excellent, guys. Thank you so much for entering. Remember, the secret word today is escape. And you can spell it however you want to. If you spell it escape, go for it. As long as it says escape. All right, so now I want to put a pattern. Wow. I'm going to make it into a grid. And you see how I'm kind of pulling it down and curving? Ooh, that's making this into kind of a more of a landscape shape. Maybe this is like a bowl. Let's see. By putting that curve into it. Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Maybe I'll have another line coming right there. So it sort of lines up. All right. So there we go. We've got an area, and this is going to get filled with flowers. So we're going to be here for a minute, guys. Let's see. What kind of a flowery fill do I want to do? Or maybe this one down here is going to get this little kind of curve path pattern. So this is where Stephanie will go quiet as she's just filling in the shapes. When you break things down into a grid, did I just go? I did. I just went kind of backwards on that one. Oh well, that's good. That, you know what? Escape works. And yes, I like Dory. Dory is one of my favorite creatures of the sea. She's much more fun than Martin. But you know, Martin, the dad, he's always the dad. It's hard for him to just have fun. I like that. And then let's see, we're going to go up. What do I want? I think I'm going to say that this is like swirly plants, maybe? We're just going to fill in the spaces. And sometimes you will love a pattern that you start to draw, and sometimes you won't. But my challenge to you is, even if you don't love something that you're starting to draw, as you fill it in with more and more. Now, I love swirls. Swirls, don't get me wrong, swirls are one of my most favorite pattern fill things. But if you don't love what you've drawn, just move over to another section and start filling it in. And you'll see, so I think I'm going to have this one sort of growing off of that. I'm just going to start filling these in. And even though I put that grid there, and it might show a little bit, it doesn't have to limit you. You can cross those lines if you want to. So say I want to just cross that line. I'm going to cross that line. But by continuing to fill in with a shape, you end up with a pattern. Even if it's a simple shape, like just squares. Vonel, this is doodling. We're not actually even sketching. And I show from the very beginning of the show how to look at a photograph and take a pencil and just make simple shapes out of it. We did, by doing that right there, that is what gave me the idea to do this. And it all grows from one line at a time. And that is what we're doing here. We are escaping into the mountains. We are drawing our own little world. We are visiting our imagination. And you don't have to, I will show how in just a second here, we will fill in a whole section where all we're going to do is draw straight lines. So I'm going to do my swirl line set here. You notice as I'm coming closer to myself here, my swirls are getting a little bit bigger and a little less. See, I'll put smaller ones in the back. Like that. So we filled in smaller in the back, and they're loosening up some and getting bigger here in the front. And this is just a swirl. And I'm not even really looking at those lines in the grid lines. You don't have to even worry about them. Let's see. This one is going to come back around that way. See, look at that. Maybe one really big one right here. Just because I see it that way, I want it that way. And you can do it whatever way makes you happy. So I need to put maybe some really tiny ones back here as they're, so I'm going out and back on my swirls. And if you are looking for patterns to fill with, I did a video with 30 patterns, not necessarily these, all done up on one big grid in one show. It took about 2 hours. But it was a lot of fun, and you can do that. Build yourself a reference. Doodle on whatever you have at hand, and just enjoy making some patterns. I'm gonna swing those things around here. So this one is gonna get that those little circle bits kind of stacked up. All it is an arched line, and they're just being stacked on top of each other. Sorry if my hand's in the way. See, look at that. And then I'm just going to fill in. And the process of filling in the shapes, the areas, is how your doodle grows. And what I like to think of a grid like this as, it's a ladder. And I'm just walking up the rungs of the ladder. See how my lines don't even match between the two squares? It's like pieces of paper got laid on top of each other. And now this bit right here, I'm going to break it into a smaller section. Yeah, if you've been around me for a minute, you know that I'm always about helping people learn about their own creativity, giving themselves permission to be creative, to do creative things. And you know, creativity doesn't have to be just drawing or painting. Creativity can be in the way you lay out your garden. Creativity can be in the way you like to cook and experiment. Creativity can be in the way you choose to put your makeup on or the way you color your hair. It's whatever makes your heart happy is generally something that's creative. So there. Now we've got sort of that area going around under the path. And there. Now remember, you can win this. Come on. You can win this exact doodle because we're going to do a drawing at the end of today's show. Come on. There you go. The word is escape. And the link is in the chat and at the top of the description. Now, I will be pulling the link out of the description once we have done our finished our show, because you have to be in the chat, or during this video you get the word. So you have to be here at least for a second to get the word, because you do have to put the secret word on the form. And it's only secret because that way we get people who are actually watching the show. I am going to show you how to put a pattern in that is just straight lines. And I'm looking at this going, where do I want to put it? So we're going to go I'm going to break this. Into a smaller grid. Now these are slightly curved just because of the space that I'm working in. I think this one's going to get broken into 3 little sections, because as we're working our way back, we kind of want our sections to get smaller. And then, boom. Okay. So, looking at this part right here makes me think of wireframe. What they would use in 3D animation and such. They do wireframes a lot for their landscapes, backgrounds. All right, so this one I'm going to do just straight lines. We're going to just fill in. We're going to go across in one box. It's going to end up looking kind of woven once we're all done. And then, so we're going to go top to bottom and we're going to go left to right. And we're just filling in the boxes. Now you can fill in those individual stripes with more stripes if you want. I do need to rotate my page. Rotate the paper. Don't twist your wrist. So I'm just going across. And my spacing is not perfectly spaced. I don't want it to be. My lines are not perfectly straight. Okay, so you're looking at that going, ooh, those are really straight lines, aren't they? But they're not. We're going to go into the zoom, 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 and focus. You see how those lines are not perfectly straight? They're not perfectly spaced. We're just filling in, going across. So there you go. I'm going to put lines coming across, and now you're going to say, but hold it, there's stuff in that box. Guess what? We're going to stop, and we're not going to draw through them. Stop when you hit the line. Stop when you hit a line. Stopped when I hit the line, I'm going to pick up my pen and draw on the other side. Stop when I hit a line. Okay, there's open space. I stop when I hit a line and open space. Let's see, back up just a smidge and put that. There we go. That's sharper. So we're going to go across. We're stopping when we hit a line. And nothing says that because you space out your lines a certain way that it has to stay that way. I may say that those spaces are way too big and want to go back and fill in. And you can. Your doodle, your artwork, your decision on where the lines go, and you're the one who decides when it's done. So nobody else can tell you you did your doodle wrong because it's your doodle. And look at, let's see, that one, I'm going to say, is just getting an extra line right here to kind of separate it, just because that's what I want to do. just like that. And we'll do that over here. This section over there is going to be really, whoops, did I go all the way off the page? I did. All I did was do that same little extra line right there. Okay, back here. So now I went right, left. Now I'm going to go top, bottom. And the right and the left and the top and the bottom change depending on which direction your paper is turned. Just know that you're going to go opposite of it. So there. And now we're going to go across. Oh, I'm going to go across. See how that makes this, that first line of doodles, the swirl doodles, become incorporated into the doodle pattern as you're going along. They don't stand alone. My doodles tend to flow into each other. And for many people, that's a new idea. They like to keep their doodles very separated, and that's fine. This is a place where you can be as loose or as tight as you wish. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Let's zoom out. Oh, that's looking good. And you see how just straight lines going left, right, and top, bottom gives you this lovely woven pattern. It's a woven checkerboard. And you can do this with lots of different shapes. Things that have a direction, you know, a top, bottom, and a, if you turn it on its side, it looks a little bit different, but it's still basically the same thing. So this could have been wobbly lines, and just follow along with all the wobbly lines. So is this helping you guys out, giving you some ideas of things you can do to kind of give your brain a rest, give your life something happy? Sorry if you hear a lot of noise outside. Apparently neighbors are running big machines, and that happens. Especially since I have the whole house opened up right now. It's only, it's almost 9 o'clock. Yeah, this is going to be a longer show, folks. I hope you don't mind. I hope you enjoy. Oh, question for you. Would you want to see this as a speed video? Well, I would definitely leave the full-length video up, but would you want to see this doodle, the whole thing, where you can get it in, like, you know, a 10-minute time lapse or a 5-minute time lapse? I'm just wondering, because I know some people, it's like, okay, yep, I've seen that pattern. That's enough of that pattern. Let's get done with that pattern and move on to another pattern. And since this is a fairly big, this is not a big doodle, but it's a big doodle for me. I would love to know. Would you watch a speed video of something like this? Oh yes, grids make doodling so much less daunting. It gives you that ladder to help you walk up that mountain. And a grid doesn't have to be a square. Grids can be in triangles. You can do a circle and then put a grid on it and, oh gee, make a mandala. Do you see how this is looking like a woven pattern now, though, by doing that up and down and side to side? Super easy things to do. Just relax and enjoy the process. You see how that one just ended up? That's interesting. We're going to go up and down. I guess I'm going to go up and down across that one also. And then side to side. Oh yeah, well I would definitely continue to have my longer versions posted. It's just sometimes people, they're not really there for the piece, they're there just for the technique. So, excuse me, I'm gonna cough. I forgot to bring some water in with me. And I can't yell for my studio guy because my hubby's at work. Let's see. So if you're interested in winning this, make sure to fill out the my mouse isn't working so well, so I can't just, come on. There, go. There it is. Make sure and fill out the form and put the word escape as the word of the day, because we are escaping into our doodle. And this was based on an actual photograph. Believe it or not, for those of you who have just come in, this is an actual photo from Mount Rainier that I took a couple years ago. It's up on Unsplash, and I do have a link down below in the more information. Oh, if you want to support my channel, I have links below for the pens, paper, and things like that over on Amazon and Arteza. They are affiliate links, and I do earn a small commission when you make a purchase. It doesn't ever change the price you pay, though, so that's a really good way to support my channel. Another way to support my channel is to join my Patreon. The link is down below for my Patreon also, and that is a community of my most devoted fans, my awesome fans that have decided that they want to support my channel and my studio with a monthly support subscription, basically. And I do coloring pages and photo references for my Patreon patrons, and they have their own website web page with all of the links and the coloring pages. And I have just remembered that I need to send out an email with the updated password link to all my folks. Oh, lines going diagonally work? Yep. I think I want to do something else up here, though. We're kind of stair-stepping our way towards the entry under the mountain. Back up just a smidge. There we go. if I back up just a little bit, then you guys have the full view. So there we are. I am going to go in and start working on another pattern, but I think this one, I don't want it to be quite as heavy. I want it to be a little bit lighter. I'm saying that this is sort of coming up the hill. Maybe this was a bit in shadow and this is getting lighter. So I want something that's more of a light pattern, but I think I want flowers. Ooh, it can be another grid and we can do more flowers. So it's going to be another grid. So I'm going to go and break this into a grid that's a little bit, it's a little wonky. Actually, it's almost completely wonky. Yeah, that I wanted the flowers to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put a circle in each of those little squares. This is going to be the center of my flowers. And as they get farther away, it might just be a dot. Bigger dot. Bigger dot. Like that. Okay? You could certainly draw some dwarves, Miss Amy. Absolutely. And now I'm just going to start putting petals in, but I'm drawing them kind of following the shape of my hill. So kind of up, going out to the edges of that grid. Maybe getting some big petals. Some of them might have smaller petals and then bigger petals. Some of these might be 5 petals and some might be 6. All depends on what my little brain decides. See how we're just filling in petals. By repeating a shape over and over, becomes a pattern. So a flower by itself isn't a pattern. Flower by itself is an element. But when you lay a whole bunch of flowers out side by side like this, it becomes a pattern, doesn't it? By having the grid, it helps. This is giving me that perspective feeling. You see how we're going smaller as we're going in towards the center here, or going off the edge of the page. As we go smaller, it makes it feel like they're farther away. And I love all of the creative ideas that you guys are coming up with. Sharing those ideas on the chat is so cool. I do go back and read the chat. So if you have an idea for me and I don't see it during the live, I go back and read the chat. Or you can always leave a comment down below the video after. And if you're not here during the chat and you have an idea for me, or you have something that you think would be a really good suggestion for me to think about next time, please leave that in the comments below. Look at that. Oh, that is so fun. I think we're going to change the petals a little bit, make them skinnier. for the next layer. This ends up looking very much like a quilt. I like that. I always think that the wildflowers in the meadows up on Mount Rainier look like somebody just laid a big flowery quilt out. The flowers are really starting to bloom up there right now. They don't have all the camping and stuff hasn't been open. So pretty much mostly what's getting to see all the beautiful flowers right now is all the wildlife that's up there. They're opening things back up though, so I'm really looking forward to getting out in the van and going camping, taking the camera and getting some good pictures. So there we go. We're just filling it in. You see how I'm kind of following that shape. We'll zoom in. There we go. So you see how that's really shallow at the back of it? I'm just going to put just a couple little lines. But I'm making these flat flowers. Just like that. Not perfect lines. But it's one of those, the lines look better, I guess, when they're tiny. So there we go. So make sure that you've entered into the contest for the free drawing if you are interested in winning this. I am looking forward to Wednesday. I'm thinking about doing sort of a seascape doodle. We're going to escape to the beach on Wednesday. Haven't decided if it's going to have a lighthouse in it. It might. Show you how to make the easiest doodly lighthouse. I'll show you a sample of what I'm talking about doing at the end. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see here. I want to come back and make these guys a little bit more fancy. Give them some of those little crease lines. See, doodles grow one line at a time, and nothing says that you have to finish an element before moving on to another one. Because sometimes when you're going along, I made all those flowers, and then I'm like, oh, I think it would be cute if it had those little lines on the inside. That would be a really interesting smash up of movie genres. Maria von Trapp riding on smog, silhouetted across the sky above the mountains that are singing, or above the mountains that are alive. I just took it a little bit farther. I think we all get a little bit punchy after a while. And if you're getting tired when you're working on something like this, you don't have to do the whole thing in one setting. I'm doing it because somebody's going to win it. And they want to know what they're winning, right? But if you've entered and you can't stick around, don't worry. You gave me your email address on the form to be able to contact you. And that form is just to contact me for me to contact you. It is not going to be used for any other purpose. It actually gets deleted as soon as the drawing is over, or it will go into the archive just in case the person doesn't email me back with their street address. Okay, so these little guys, some of them I'm putting a line and maybe a line and a dot. I can get super, super fiddly and really pulled in. Each time you add a line, you add another layer of detail. Seascape doodle with a lighthouse. Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. I am looking at this going, maybe a few of these are going to get leaves. I really should move on to another section though, shouldn't I? Okay, there's a few little leaves here and there. I have to do it. Sometimes Hey guys, I need to go and check out my front door here because that sounds like I've got somebody. Sorry about that. It wasn't somebody right at my front door. The next door neighbors are getting a driveway put in. So much fun. All right. Luckily, I live in a tiny, tiny house, and I can get from my studio to the front door really fast. It was just, it sounded like they were standing right on my porch. Good morning, Meg. All right. So we've got this going into the hills. You can add as many more details as you want. I am going to move on to the next. Whoops, I need to put something right here though. Okay. I think I'm just going to fill this one with some spirals. Little tiny spirals. Just needed something right there. It was an empty square. And yes, I probably could have just saved it and put my signature there, but I didn't. All right, we are going to start getting these hills in, and I think I want to do this back one, and based on that Mount Rainier picture, I am actually going to say it's got a giant flower on the top of the mountain. Ha ha ha. Look at that. See, it doesn't have to make sense in a, making sense kind of way. I'm just making these big kind of rounded corner rectangles. And it's just oh yeah. Oh, I'm liking that. And I'm making them bigger as we're going along. So it's like the flower is laying over the top of the mountain. That's cool. Yeah, it's a totally living place because it's living in my imagination. I'm wondering if I want to do, I think I'm going to go ahead, give it one more set of petals. You see how when I'm coming around here and this is in front of it, all I'm doing is moving over and going, let's put a little V right there. See how we have that space between the petals? We'll do some more doodles on that, but maybe we'll go like this, and we'll give it like little tendrils coming out. You know, that could be different rock faces. Ooh, that's fun. Oh, yeah, that could be like a turtle shell, couldn't it? With the little his little tattoo on his head coming out. That. I'm not going to make it into the actual creature, but if that's what you see, that's kind of cool. So there we go. Oh, that's looking so sweet. Fun doodles. We'll put some more detail in up here in just a second, because we have to have something that gives it a little bit of variety. Now, if you've just come in and you want to have a chance of winning this actual, oh, come on, why aren't you giving me the option to paste? Have I pasted it too many times? Okay. I'm going to go and grab that link again, just so that we can give everybody the opportunity to possibly win this fun doodle. What you'll do is, come on, go. Click the link, fill in the form, and then you're entered. The word is escape, and we are escaping to the hills of Doodle Land. And this is Stephanie's Doodle Land here. All right. Let's say that one was coming like that, and there was a swirl. See how we just work those lines in? They look like they're a random, weird little line. Just work something in. I just worked that in under the petal. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and get something drawn onto this front one. Make that line a little bit heavier. And let's see, what do I want to do? I'm not sure. Well, I think I'm going to wait on that. Let's go ahead and we're going to put a bunch of little circles in the center. Maybe those are little ice crystals or something like that on top of a mountain. Or it's just the center of the flower. And you can do it however you wish. If you don't want to do this part, you don't have to. You can draw all kinds of fun doodle coloring pages. If you like my kind of artwork, my sort of doodle flower drawing type of things, I do have a coloring book on Amazon that is fun floral mandalas. They were all hand-drawn by me. The link is down below in the more information box to my Amazon store, and this is in my Amazon store. I know I have a lot of people here who have already purchased it, and I thank you so much for that. But it's a way to have 50 of my pieces of artwork all together in one place. So I appreciate everybody who has purchased and everyone who appreciates. So there we go. I think I'm going to put like a heart shape. That bump and back up. This can either be on the actual petal, or it could be another petal that's just lined up. Yeah, this is turning out really well. I'm very pleased. So just like this. Every time you add a line, you're adding another layer of detail and another layer of complexity. See, and I kind of think of these little heart-shaped bits as sort of looking like the snow dripping down the mountain. As you go down to your bigger ones, and they're sort of hidden by the mountain and the hills in front of it, just sort of think about how the line is going and what would happen. Okay, the line goes down and then it's going to swing back up. There you go. I know. Amy has purchased 4 of my coloring books to use for herself and for gifts for friends and family. I think that is so wonderful. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of shading. And my shading, I don't go in with a pencil very often on my black and white doodles. I sort of do my shading by putting lines very close together and then letting them spread out. As you let your lines spread out away from each other, they become lighter looking. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you are interested, I have been posting in here the link for the drawing, because we're going to have a drawing for this actual piece of art. And it's going to get sent out in the mail probably tomorrow, because by the time I'm done, the mail carrier will have come for today. I need to apologize to Miss Gina, who actually won the unicorn popsicle. Hers didn't get mailed out until like Friday. But it has been mailed and it's on its way and should be to her door any minute. So I'm just putting those little lines, like where the petals above would overlap. Or where there's the space between the petals, especially. You can make it, again, as detailed or as simple as you wish. And you are the one in charge of your artwork, your doodle, your world. Fill it with what makes you happy. And you can tell flower forms actually make me super, super happy. So I do a lot of flowers in my doodles. And I have since I was really, really young. So so here's the link again. Come on. Paste. I need to buy a new mouse. I think that's my next patron. My next patron thing is going to buy me a mouse. Because when I was doing all of the acrylic pouring, paint got all over that mouse. Oh. Meg, you can hardly hear me? Hey guys, is anybody else having a hard time hearing me? I know I keep turning my head away from the microphone. That could be my problem, my fault. I try not to have the microphone actually sitting on the table with me. And I do go a little bit softer when I am actually getting into the doodles. You know, that does happen. Yeah, I'm excited for you to get it. So let's see. You have your volume all the way up. You can't hear me well either. Okay, let me see. Okay, my volume is turned all the way up on my microphone, and I will... Okay, there might be a little banging here because I'm moving my microphone onto the table right in front of my face. Okay, I've moved the microphone. So now we'll see. It's just that it's sitting on the table, and so it's a little bit in the way with this big piece of paper. So how's that, guys? Is that a little bit better? Are you able to hear me a little more now? You can hear me very well. And now you can hear me. Okay, so I've turned up my microphone. I've moved my microphone. Now just let me know if I go too loud. Oh, I missed some flowers back here. Oh, those ones would be different. Ooh, okay. Maybe we're just going to go with polka dots. See, as I move around my drawings, sometimes I go off of working on something for a minute and I start working on something else. And that's okay. You are the one that says what's being worked on. Just make that a nice light little polka dot hill. All right. So let's see here. I need to get a little bit of some shadow underneath of that petal so it's separate from the rest. And the same with this one at the back here. There we go. A little bit of detail under that one. See, that's the thing, is that I start putting detail around something, and then I go, oh, well, that one needs a little bit of detail now too. And I just want to keep adding more and more detail, but I really want to also get this to a pretty much finished place. I think I'm going to get this to a certain point, and then I will say it's good enough for the show, but I will continue finishing up the doodle afterwards so that it's completely finished for the person who wins it. How's that? Because I could sit here and keep going and going, but I don't know how much you guys want to hang out. And I appreciate every single one of you being here. Oh, it's looking really cute though. I think I'm going to put some of those little dash lines, and I'm growing them outwards so that they're longest in the middle of each petal and then coming back to the edge. See how that works? It gives you sort of a sense of shape there. And say that's the center. These pens are really nice because you can, sort of lift up and just barely let it skim across the paper. It's still black ink. It's still the same black ink. It's just you're putting down a finer layer of that ink. Okay, I decided I'm going to put little tiny petally shapes or little U's or W's. Fill in that one space there. Oh, excellent. So filling in the shapes, putting in those littler details just gives you that sense of something more is going on. I like that sense of something more. All right, I think I'm going to put more swirls in, and then I'm going to fill in around so that I have some of those shapes are getting filled in around. It actually ends up making it look more, I'm trying to think of when we went to New Zealand, they have a lot of the Aboriginal type art or Polynesian art. And many times they will have, the swirl. And then they'll have other shape kind of filling in around the swirls. And it becomes a bit more kind of ethnic looking without it being an ethnic, without appropriating somebody else's, ethnic identities. This is just doodling and filling in shapes, but it gives sort of a feeling of those pieces of artwork that you might find in the tattoos, especially. Yes, the Eco pens are a great pen. I love drawing with them. The ink is so smooth and it dries so quickly. And there we go. Just filling in. And it fills in really well, nice and black. I probably should use, something else to fill in, but these pens are very inexpensive. a pack of 20 of them was like $13. So, and that's a pack of 20. All right. So there, I'm just going to fill in. See how I'm sort of looking at my shapes and going, oh, well, I can put like a little rectangle right there. Maybe a pointy, rounded triangle right here. And then maybe even a crescent shape right inside there. This also reminds me a lot of the Pacific Northwest art. The Native American indigenous peoples had so many things that they would do in the artwork, and a lot of cut work and layering of fabrics and basketry. So different little designs. By doing that, it's given us, oh, look at that. It's given us a sense of this being maybe down the hill and a little farther, going farther back and away. Yep, Maori art is usually black and white. Sometimes there's a little bit of red. There can be a little bit of red. And if you are looking at some of their, what is it? The dot paintings that the indigenous peoples in Australia would do with the, marking, like they would do the big paintings of groupings of dots, which would be like wells or springs out in the desert, or they would use the natural colors made from the pigments of the earth also. So you'd get black and brown and yellow and a red, but they would all be earthy colors. They would all be, like oxide. Nope, this ink doesn't smear. This ink, that's what I used here. And then I colored this with watercolor afterwards. This ink does not run. It is permanent waterproof ink. It is so cool. So yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. All right. We've got this hill here. Let's see. What do we want to do with that one? I'm looking at I could do that. Okay, so what I'm looking at is I'm going to do kind of small petal shapes, and I'm just going to be stacking them up. So they're going to be like petal shapes, or they're like fish scales. Maybe this will get somebody to be happy with, they could be a dragon scale or something like that also. It's not going to look like a dragon, but I'm giving you some dragon scales. And they don't always have to line up. And they can grow. Again, if you hear some scraping or loud bangy type noises, today's the day the neighbors decided to have the people come and put in their driveway. And they have to scrape away about 6 inches of gravel first. Let's see. I'm going to swing that way. And these are just U shapes. kind of laying over. You can use these as small feathers, as scales. The U shape is a very, very fun shape to be able to use in making your doodles because it can be so many different things. And you can stack them up, lay them in like bricks. Makes really fun little like banners also. Look at that, I'm changing the direction. You never know what I'm going to do. I mean, this totally took a different direction than I was anticipating. There we go. So see? Just keep filling it in. The smaller you fill in your details, the slightly more weight it holds because your lines are closer together and it's a little bit darker. You know, this could end up being a pangolin. I'm not sure I pronounced that right, but they're really cute. They look like a pine cone type of animal, and they're in Asia. I watched a show on it once. Some of them are actually becoming quite endangered. They are hunted and trapped and killed for their scales because some cultures believe that they are magical. I think they're much more magical when the critter is alive. Just my feeling. Okay, I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Focus. Come on. Why aren't you focusing? There you go. Okay, turn off the autofocus. There it is. And you never know what I'm going to be talking about in a show either. Wow. But I did say this is a chat type of show too, because this is definitely, we're filling in lots of space. We have the drawing for this that's coming up really soon. So if you are interested in possibly winning this, during the live chat or during the live show, we are doing this drawing for this drawing. And the link has been being put up in, thank you. The link has been being put up in the chat. And I believe I have it in the description also. So if you click that link during the video, during the lesson, you can answer the question. The question, the word is escape, because we are escaping into the hills with our doodles, since we can't really escape into the hills for real yet. It's coming. Now I'm going to go in, and this is going to take me a minute. I'm going to put some shadow underneath in the V of some of these little scales. I'm not going to do it to all of them. And what that's going to do, it's going to give us variety, variation. It's going to give us some little bits of maybe something goes deeper in. And it also helps to give you that sense of sort of movement and flow. And I think I really want to get some of that darker bit right down here behind that drapey that drapey hill, because I want to separate that a little bit from the background. I want it to be a little more forward. And you can do that. See how you can separate things. Follow the shapes of the doodles above them, and then it looks like it's behind them. There have been a couple of the pens have been kind of dry or a little bit skippy, but one of my people here, I'm not sure, Meg, was it you that has used these? The way I've gotten my pens back working again was you tap, 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 and then scratch, and then tap, 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 and scratch again, and change the angle that you're holding your pen. Now, right here, this is kind of skipping because I'm on textured paper. This pen is actually not skipping. Oh, look at that. Now it is. Is this one almost... Oh my gosh, guys, we ran a pen out. This was not a new pen. That's funny. So if your pen starts getting kind of dry and scratchy, pull it out and check and see if you've run it out. That's funny. Let's grab another pen. All right. This pen is a full pen. Okay. This pen is doing that kind of skipping thing. There. Tap, 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 tap. And now scratch. And it goes. Tapping is the best. Yes, Meg, thank you. You were the one who told me about it. I thought it was you. So, that's all you have to do. So see, this one is working again. I love when a lesson happens to just come at the absolute right moment. The question was perfect. So thank you, Elizabeth, for the question. Because it slowed me down and it made me think and it made me stop and notice that my pen was going to run out in that moment. So there we go. Okay, I am going to put some puffy clouds in my sky because I like puffy clouds. And these are not going to be realistic clouds. These are going to be just puffy clouds. So if you are interested in possibly winning this, please get your entry in because I'm going to be doing the drawing here. We're going to use random.org. We'll go there. We'll grab the number. Well, actually, I have to go to the spreadsheet and find out how many I need to do. See, I start looking up and then going, oh, that needs to be darker there. That needs it there. I need a little bit over here. So did this give you guys your dragon feel that you wanted? I love doing things like this. I love your suggestions and ideas. And being able to incorporate some of them. I make no promises that I will incorporate any of them. But, sometimes you guys say something and it makes my brain go, ooh, that could be fun. I think the tapping, what it is I think a little tiny bit of ink will get dried right around, because these are ballpoints. Oh, did I mention that? These are actually little teeny tiny ballpoint pen tips. All right, my Puffy Cloud. Because this is the Pacific Northwest, and very rare to have those beautiful sunny days like I've got in that photograph. Very rare to have it last as a whole day. There's usually some set of clouds. But I'm not going to make them just be those silly little puffle clouds. Am I going to actually show trees in this one? No. I kind of filled in the space. But we are going to be doing a, I think let's see here. Did I bring my other book in here? I did. It's around here. Let's take a quick look here. I'm not finished yet, guys. We're going to do a little bit more still, but I'm going to zoom out. And let's see here. So this one got the corn dog trees and the marshmallow trees. So we'll do one that's sort of like that at some point. But I was thinking about, for our lighthouse doodle, we could do something that's the lighthouse on the hill this way. Or we could do just a seascape doodle with a whale tail coming up. I mean, these are all things that we could do eventually anyway. This is just a cute little hillside. That's actually a lighthouse up on a hill with the rays going out and the water coming in. Oh, that's a really good suggestion, Meg. Thank you. I usually just pop those little rubber things off and they just go places. I think I can even see one right here, though. Here's another version of the whale tail with the clouds and the sky and the hills and the flowers. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. I will put the link in one more time. Link in one more time. We are getting down to the real nitty-gritty. So, the little black tip that Meg was talking about. Let's see. Focus. Boom, 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 boom. Come on, focus. I might be just a little too close. Whoops. So, there's these little rubber tips that come with the pen. And what she's saying is cap it with that. Cap it with the little rubber tip. And yeah, I could see where that would be really helpful. And thank you again. Great suggestion. Put that where I can find it. All right, so right here, I'm going to put just a little bit of some stipple on those clouds. On the bottom side. just because I want to. If you are entering right now, clicking on that link, the secret word is escape. So make sure and put that word on your entry form. I'm so happy that you guys came and escaped with me. This has been quite a little adventure into a world of whimsy and doodles, going up into the hills. So now that you've seen some of the little sample doodles, what do you think about, do we do a lighthouse or do we do the whale tail for the going to the beach? Because we're going to the beach on Wednesday. So I'm ready for you guys to tell me what to do. I am really happy that these videos are helping people to draw more, doodle more. Just pick up your pencil or a pen and make something. What really makes me happy is that you guys are able to do what I'm explaining and sharing in these lessons. You guys are able to do the flowers and come away with sunflowers that look amazing, roses that are, I could just smell them, carnations that are so sweet, lavenders, oh my gosh. You guys are just, you're knocking my socks off with all of your artwork, all of your creativity. If you want to share your artwork with me, if you are a patron, you can go onto the community board and you can share your artwork right there. And it's just there for the people in our community on Patreon. If you aren't on Patreon and you still want to share with me, you can certainly share by tagging me at Deliberately Creative on your Instagram if you post on Instagram, or if you post on Facebook, you can always go to my Facebook page, Deliberately Creative, and share your artwork there on the Facebook page. I do have a Facebook group. It's a very sweet and fun group. We're very kind and supportive of each other and the creativity that everyone is doing. And I love to see your artwork, so please share there also if you wish to. If you go to the Facebook page or Facebook group, please make sure and answer the questions. Basically, it's what's your favorite art medium? Do you promise to follow the rules of the group? Okay, we're going to zoom out. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. I think I want one more little bit of a cloud coming on that corner there, just because it felt a little bit empty. And you see how just putting those little dots, that stippling, gives you a bit of shading without being too much. And truthfully, I mean, there's more things. I see more things that I can do. There's, I can go and I can add more lines. Just following the shape. But you guys get the gist of what we're doing here, right? So I think it's time. Maybe, the squirrel sort of jumped up in front of me and said, "Hey, put some more lines there." This one right here. The more lines you put in following a shape like this, the more you get that feeling of it being like fabric draping over the top of supports. The name of the group is Deliberately Creative. The name of the page is Deliberately Creative. And the if you want to tag me on Facebook or on Instagram or any of those places, tag at Deliberately Creative. Okay. Oh, okay. My paper away from the actual design is, I need to heat up the tape because it's grabbing onto the, sorry about the noise there, guys. My paper is curling a little bit because there's some humidity in the air, but there we go. Come on. There. Luckily, I am cutting this at 5 by 7, so we don't have to worry about that. Ha ha ha. And my name, I'm actually signing these. And you're getting a date too. Look at that. Woohoo. All right, we're going to do the drawing. So pull that little paper off there. So we're going to do the drawing now, and I am going to zoom in just on this so we don't have, that's the base of the microphone right there, guys. So when I said I moved it onto my table, here, that's the microphone right there. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Zoomy zoom. All right, so we're going to do the drawing for this. We're going to go to the 2 through 32 and generate. Whoa. Number 2. Okay, so let's see who number 2 was. Whoops, wrong one. Wrong one. Sorry about that, guys. Number 2. Number 2, Robin Johnson. Miss Robin Johnson, you are the winner. Woohoo! So let's go back to the close-up screen. Robin Johnson. You are the winner, Miss Robin. So exciting. It's so fun when somebody who's been participating in our chat is a winner. Thank you guys so much. And Monday is going to be another drawing day for a drawing. We might do a secret drawing on Wednesday, maybe. You guys want to do, we could do another drawing on Wednesday. I've got quite a pile of artwork already done up for my patrons, so I'm kind of ahead on there. So we can do another drawing Wednesday for our seaside going to the beach doodle extravaganza. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Make sure that you click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the videos with your friends, and make sure that you do something creative. Take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. And I hope to see you back here again really soon. Woohoo!